I have never played Octopath Traveler. I did not see the original demo, so the Prologue demo is brand new to me. I'm playing it because I'm interested in playing the game when it actually comes out, and I heard that this one has a save file that actually carries over into the main game. So 100% blind. All I know is that it's somewhat connected to the Bravely Default team and kind of uses a old school Final Fantasy style job system, which I like both of those things very much. I have played and beaten Bravely Default 1, which I liked very much, and Bravely 2nd, which I didn't like so much. You can play for 3 hours from the start of the game. You can choose any of the 8 protagonists, just as in the full version of the game. Carry over your save game data for use in the full game. Wasn't there a Super Nintendo JRPG from Square that had you pick from a bunch of different protagonists? I guess Secret of Mana 2 was like that, right? Seiken Densetsu 3. And I want to say there was like a Saga game for the Super Nintendo that did that too. The names of the 8 main characters spell out Octopath. Okay. This was originally just supposed to be the working title for the game, right? And they decided to just use it because it was actually kind of cool sounding. Settings. I love the graphics. I haven't even seen anything about this game other than maybe the original Switch release trailer where they were talking about it a teensy bit. Turn the brightness up a bit on stream just to account for people with different monitor settings at home. And spell out potato if you don't count 2 of them. Nice. Cyrus, scrutinize, study foe. You are a scholar. You teach at the Royal Academy in Atlasdam. Numerous admirers, your only true passion is the pursuit of knowledge. Okay. Ophelia, summon. You are a cleric. Now from the snow-swept Frostlands, where you dutifully serve the Order of the Flame. Okay. I like the soundtrack so far. Hanit, provoke. You are a hunter. I love the art too. Great pixel art, good concept art. Okay. Therian, you are a thief. Your past is a guarded secret, your exploits are known far and wide. Your whispers of your extravagant heights strike fear into the hearts of the wealthy. Concoct, you are an apothecary. Treat the wounded in a small village amid the babbling brooks of the Riverlands. Ha! I'm gonna try to pick the one that's the least obviously cool, so right now I'm kind of leaning towards either the scholar or the apothecary. Let's see what other options we've got here. Tressa, you are a merchant! Ah, right on. Stock the shelves of your parents' shop in your sleepy seaside hometown. Find yourself gazing out at the scene. We're only going to play for 3 hours, though, independent of the amount of time it takes for us to choose. You are a warrior. Lost both king and kingdom in a bloody coup. Servant master at arms. You are a dancer. Primrose. Okay. So it's up between the apothecary and the merchant. Both of them would be cool concepts. Talent, eye for money. We'll start with the merchant. Let's do that. It's fun. Yes.
Just what you need.
That's really awesome, Aki. Bravely Default sort of felt like that too. Just like, what if we decide to keep doing JRPGs and improve on their features? Oh, I didn't realize it was like 3D pixel art. That's pretty cool. With the roofs of the houses. This world is brimming with treasures. I know what I'm searching for is waiting for me out there somewhere. Set sail for the horizon and the great big world that lies beyond. More JRPGs that really like French accordion music. No, this is fantastic. This is completely fantastic. The game is speaking to my heart. I am delighted.
Well, shop ain't gonna stock itself.
I might have to move my Switch closer to the TV. My Joy-Con keeps disconnecting here. There's some good Joy-Con rumble in this. Try to hold them up for now and see if that helps.
Morning, Tressa. Looks like our #1 employee is ready for another day of work.
I love the lighting too.
Sure am. And I'll start by stocking up the store.
Yeah, modern lighting and effects on pixel art.
Hold your seahorses, little lady. Tell me, what are the 3 things a merchant needs most?
The bloom is a little excessive, I can agree with that, Flaster.
Mannerly, and early. Thought you had me, didn't you?
You're too clever for me, Tressa. Now off you go.
Leave it to me, Pa.
Be careful out there, Tressa. Oh, those pirates have been causing trouble around the tavern lately.
She has a Minnesota accent.
If you see them, you make sure to keep a wide berth, you hear?
Got it, Ma. Be back in 2 ripples of the tide.
Yeah. No, I really like this art style. I didn't know that they were going with pixel art for the whole game. I thought maybe it was just the character sprites.
Reminds me of myself when I was that age.
I haven't seen anything from this game except when they announced it at the
Always
Switch.
running off somewhere, wanting to prove myself a full-fledged merchant.
Don't flatter yourself, dear. Our Tressa is something special.
Minnesota.
That she is.
Use the radar on the bottom right to check the area and find your heading. Continue the story, side stories, save points, and hidden items. Okay. Cool.
Hello.
Nice. So you can only carry over 1 save file to the full game, right? If you wanted to like restart and try a different character, you only get to pick 1 to carry over. Oh, I love the art in this game. Oh my god. I don't think I'm gonna get over it in this session. I love the blur effects in the distance too. Like how it's like the sprites are 3D too. $500 monies. Most of the characters have nothing to say. That's fine by me. I think that's a fair way to do it. Healing grapes. SP, HP. Okay. I love the UI too, is gorgeous. Something that Square has always done really well is just gorgeous, clean UIs. Even in their worst games, they've managed to nail that, I feel like. Spears, bows, rods, round shields, bronze vests.
Hello.
This is where I should be going at the moment. Okay. I talk to the person that's back here. I have to find a sneaky way to get over there. Cool. Very cool. It kind of looks like papercraft. I like that too. Good job, Square. This is what I've been asking for a really long time, right? It's still kind of my private dream that Final Fantasy 16 will just be a pixel art, 32-bit sprite art. Be like if they made Final Fantasy 7 on the Super Nintendo. Depth of field. Oh yeah, it's like a tilt shift, right? Yeah. Actually feels like it's doing that tilt shift effect. No, I just started.
Oh.
Oh. Here's the catch in the morning.
can give you this much.
Huh?
Maybe that's our canned voice line. Oh man, classic sprite emoting. The look down, the original sprite emote from like Final Fantasy IV, right? It's basically all those characters could do.
All right.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Who's her voice actor?
Not bad.
The merchant character? Yeah, Yukupo. They love it in Japan. I think that French accordion music is like, it's like the math teacher mustache from Metal Gear Solid 4, right? Like, I think to the Japanese it sounds kind of badass. Utilize each character's unique action to overcome any obstacle. Oh. That's cool. Purchase. That's right. Prompt me about that at the beginning. There we go. Save points. Purchase. Oh, something that only she can get. Okay. Memorial Harpoon's not for sale. Increases evasion. Cool. And gives you a pop-up if you're able to engage with them, I see. I like the way the little radar works in the corner. So probably that double ellipsis merchant guy from earlier I can buy something with. Go. That's our quest guy. What about this dude? Purchase. Herb of Light, Herb of Awakening, Herb of Revival. Haggling successful. I got a discount, that's cool. Alright, it tells me if I've already bought all of their goods. Okay, I understand. Neat. Stinging Dagger. Oh, that's gonna leave me broke, though, if I buy all these things. I probably shouldn't have bought the other thing earlier. Thank you kindly. Always looking for a bargain. She uses spears. Okay, see. So I probably actually wanted to get the body piece from earlier. That's fine. I tried to pick whichever job seemed like it would be the least interesting from like a combat perspective. So it was up between her, the apothecary, and the scholar. Oh, wine, nice and cheap.
Another day, another deal. The deal's so good, it was practically a steal. This ought to liven up our little shop. Our little shop.
Hi, Dram. How you doing?
Just me, Ma, and Pa. If I don't take over, who will?
I really like the soundtrack so far, too.
Fast.
Who's the composer? Do we know? It's not Revo, right? Doing alright. Happy to have kept myself as blind as possible for this game. I'm really digging the art style so far, and the music. I hope Square Enix never stops doing this kind of thing.
Drop anchor.
Yasunori and Nishiki. I haven't heard of them. What else have they done?
I haven't seen that ship around here before. Wonder where it came from.
What a dreary town.
I love this game's sprite art.
but it carries a delectable scent. Its cuisine may be promising.
So far, this game reminds me a lot of Seiken Densetsu 3.
What's the matter, lass? You look like a fish out of water.
If I like it a lot, I might just do it as a new game release. We'll see how the rest of the demo goes, but I'm intrigued so far. I'm probably going to wait a month or two after it comes out to play it, just so that the early hype can get over with and people can actually finish it and tune in without spoilers.
Well, Captain, the name's Tressa.
I dig it so far,
in
though.
this town.
A pleasure to meet you.
I have to keep this Joy-Con up for the connection to
you
work.
have all kinds of neat cargo on board. Say, do you mind if I take a peek? I'd love to see what you've brought from overseas.
You have a true merchant's eye, lass. You gaze at a simple trading ship as if it were made of solid gold.
Is 3D Dot Game Heroes the same one that's like a Zelda parody for the PlayStation?
Alas, I only allow passage to those I trust.
Aww.
I like the 3D tree with the wind effects.
What was that? I'll go check it out.
Busy as a bream, that one.
Yeah, right. Think of the source of the ruckus. Don't big. Mick and Mack.
But... Sir!
I guess so. 2.5D, really good handling of it. Definitely a style I've never seen before in another game. I like the tilt shift effect.
Oddscods!
Hey,
Stop that.
I won't allow it.
Yeah, I agree, Ikupo. I was telling Jaden he should work on an unsettling song for his soundtrack project.
Yo-ho!
Rainbow wine. He actually take it? Give it back.
Lass,
How do you figure, Captain?
I think again.
He ends with savvy. Okay. So clearly the localizers are inspired by Pirates of the Caribbean.
Bye-bye now!
Jack Wettin' Worms.
Fare thee well!
Thought for sure we were about to have a combat there.
There's no need to pretend.
Oh.
Lass,
Not even the best merchant can buy back his life when it's taken from him. It seems like the localization's pretty good too. Which you would expect from Square these days. Is this getting a global simultaneous release? This isn't already in Japan? It seems to be the pattern lately. Exit the town on the west and make for the caves of Maiya. Okay. Get the save point again. You gonna join my party?
Hello there.
I like how there's all these extra NPCs that they're like, they don't need to have text. They've got nothing relevant to say, right? It's the JRPG equivalent of the context-sensitive jump in Last of Us or God of War 2018.
Well,
I think I prefer that. You can still have people in the town and give it a sense of, you know, being alive. But there's no reason to have Nathan Drake impotently jump in the middle of a room when there's nothing for him to jump to, right? Otherwise it can be overwhelming with too many NPCs and you don't know which ones are important, right?
Oh?
really?
Mm-hmm.
However,
Hey, he isn't joining my party. That or he's gonna sell me stuff.
Deal.
Never mind. Oh, now they all have stuff to buy. Yo. Herb of Light, Tree Nut, Candy. Of just getting the haggle bonus, that's nice too. Valor, Hip Flask. Oh, I can make a profit on stuff? That's cool. Sleepweed. Might be effective against a certain pair of pirates. Neat.
oh,
Yeah, I can hear you, Blaster. I'm all in favor of streamlining stuff. Like, sometimes you can have cool lore from random townsfolk, but they just need to ask the question, like, does this NPC say anything that's relevant? Are they restating something obvious?
Thank you.
Why are you helping me? I like the idea of all 8 characters having a unique, like, field action they can use. It's pretty rad. Cool beans. Make a special delivery to the caves of Maiya. You never know when danger might strike, so be sure to save often. Okay. Don't need to tell me that, game. Trust me. Is there anything I do obsessively? It's that. Okay, the door just takes you right to the shop, which is also nice, I think. Yeah, I hate that too. I love Dark Souls, it's like my favorite game ever, but it bums me out that you have to do that. I guess the Hip Flask is only good for selling, maybe? It's okay if the game, like, projects that that's the case, but in that case they should just keep talking, right? If it's just correct to keep talking to them. Why even split it up in the first place, you know? So it didn't sell the Memorial Harpoon. Right. You can't talk to them, they have nothing new to say. That's a nice way to do it. I'm guessing that the red radar means that there's potentially random battles out here. Yeah, that's cool. Nice immediate transition. Also rad battle sprites too. I wasn't expecting that. I thought maybe they'd go somewhere different with the enemies. But your foe's weakness is to turn the tide of battle in your favor. Attack your foe's weak point to lower their shield points. Use shield points to break your foe. Tressa can utilize polearms, bows, and wind abilities. Let's use trade winds. Okay.
My turn now.
Cool. I like that there's a little animation effect on it too, like it's floating in the air. That's cool. Collect money from a foe, 19% chance. Yeah. Very wild armsy, I can hear that. Break. Oh, neat. So then it shows you they're vulnerable against it. Let's use it. Enter boost mode to augment your powers. Press the R button, enter boost mode, and the potency of your attacks and abilities will surge. You gain 1 boost point per turn. Up to 3 BP to boost your character 3 levels of power. If you use it, you won't get any BP on the fallen. That's cool.
You got 4.
Alright, I like the battle system. I get a break bonus to XP. Awesome. The victory theme reminds me of Crystal Chronicles. Does this game keep Bravely Default's
Step right up.
encounter rate innovation? I guess we won't know until the actual full game comes out, huh? Let's try the bow. Okay, we know he's not weak against the bow. He's not weak against trade
My turn
winds.
now. My turn.
Or
Time to close up shop.
yeah. I liked there was a lot of cool design space with Brave and Default. It helped a lot with a lot of battles. You just kind of had a pattern you wanted to use. There were a lot of enemies that were more interesting if you could take them out on the first turn by just spamming all your Braves. Curious if it gets more complicated in the actual game or if the demos are pretty close exploration of what it's going to look like at the end. Oh, save points full heal you? What's the point of ins then? Or did I get a full heal because I leveled up? Probably the latter.
Step right up. My turn now. What to do?
I like them doubling down on elemental weakness. I feel like that's a really classic element of the earliest Final Fantasy games. It hasn't been explored quite as closely. Borrow a bunch of turns of Phoenix down and heal everyone. Yeah. I think mechanically Bravely Default might be one of my favorite true turn-based RPGs. I have a lot of story issues with like Bravely Second and parts of Bravely Default. But mechanically they're pretty genius. 5% chance. Oh, chance of success gets higher the more damage you're dealing. Hey, Nodovan. This is the new Square Enix turn-based RPG. Pick as one of 8 different characters. I'm playing as a merchant right now.
Do this.
Okay. I'm gonna try to use that collect power on it if I can. And you can't break a broken enemy. Okay, so it degenerates to being fairly similar to the Brave and Default system. Although I guess, can you boost other actions other than attack? I guess that would change it. If you could use boost to cast multiple heal spells, that'd be one thing.
What to do?
Empty-handed tells me I already succeeded at that. Cool. Sweet.
Close up shop.
I'm super digging it so far. You can boost everything? Okay, cool. So I could boost... but can you use boost to use multiple different actions, like braving? Or only one at a time? Alright, so I really like that the game saves the weaknesses that you've uncovered for enemies. That's always a fun thing. Not every game will do that. But it's kind of a fun completionist incentive to try to collect all the enemy weaknesses and try everything out. Gives you that little sense of progression even in just a fight that you don't do particularly well in. Try the bow. He's not weak against the bow. He is weak against a spear. Okay, cool.
Here I go.
Yeah, I really like that about Darkest Dungeon's curio interactions. Makes it feel like even if you make the wrong choice on a curio, you've
What to do?
made some progress, right?
Let's do.
The break mechanic definitely has some cool design space they can explore.
My turn.
Especially boss encounter design. Maxed out on BP here.
You got more than you bargained for.
Sweet. Level up. And level ups are in fact a full heal. Good to know. XP curves timed out pretty well so far. I can't get over how much I love this art style. The game is gorgeous.
My turn now.
Once I weaken him a little bit, I'm gonna try to get collect some money off of him. Maybe I can go back into town and buy some more stuff. Multi-shots. Rude. 91% chance of success.
My turn now.
That doesn't use a full turn, okay.
You got
So it has
more than you
the
bargained for.
initiative projection like it has in Final Fantasy X. It shows you what the current turn order is going to be and what the impact of using a specific ability is going to be on the turn order.
Open for business. Here I go.
Seabirdian 2. Alright, so he's a stronger version, which is why I didn't already know. I see.
Let's do this.
There's our break, because the shield points have to be depleted.
Do it.
Gotcha. So you can have attacks that increase shield points, or are better at reducing it. So far, pretty small numbers when it comes to XP. Looks like they're getting job points as well, which is cool. It's under miscellaneous. Anyone know what the death penalty is in this game? Is it load your save? I've generally come to expect that to be the case.
Here I come. Here I go.
Seabirdian 1. You open with a break, and then unless if her level up is enough, this still shouldn't be enough to kill it. Alright, and then I can use collect.
Let's do this.
And I might pop back into town and try to buy some stuff, we'll see.
Here I go.
Now, there's a total of 8 characters in the game. I've just chosen to start as the merchant. It's like Seiken Densetsu 3, Secret of Mana 2, or the Saga games where you get to pick one of the 8 characters, and I'm guessing later on they join up together. But this is a demo, this game isn't actually out for the Switch yet. Yeah, so it opens very similar to Secret of Mana 2.
Open for business. My turn now. What to do?
Game auto saves whenever you change screens? Okay, that's nice. That's less brutal. Shoot, I should have used collect first, I forgot. Enemies are not... I guess they're dropping a small amount of money when they die. Pick 3 out of these, like, was it 6 or 8 characters?
Ready or not, here I come.
Yeah, no kidding, Chaos.
My turn now.
I hear that. Hide and shell.
Here I
Here's my break. Okay.
What to do?
And collect is kind of a useful... I don't know if it's literally a representation of how many hit points they have remaining. It seems like it's pretty close, though.
Let's do this.
That'd be great. I'm especially excited for more RPGs that are, like, trying something new. without just abandoning the turn-based RPG, which I feel like is what a lot of what Tetsuya Nomura is doing. He's basically giving up on the RPG as a genre and saying, RPGs suck, so let's make action games instead, right? I'd rather see more people go for the Bravely Default thing of, well, RPGs aren't necessarily unsalvageable as a genre. There's my break.
You got more than you bargained for.
I really like true turn-based. I'm not a big fan of ATB, although I really like the way Child of Light was handling ATB. I hadn't really ever thought of something like that. Is the random encounter rate increased when you run? Looks like the radar is only red when I'm running. RPG should make a resurgence in the indie market. Dragon Quest is very stagnant. You still love it. Yeah. I think we're allowed to have one or two properties out there that are stagnant for stagnation's sake. But...
You got more than you bargained for.
Child of Light, the Chrono Trigger ATB, it's pretty good. Basically, when there's some cost to waiting, or they're not a cost, there's some reward for waiting longer than when your turn comes up, because in most games with ATB, it's pretty much just act immediately as soon as your ATB comes up, because the monster certainly will, right? Alright, we got 1,700 coins, schmackles. Use my purchase power as a merchant to try to get this black attire. Should have bought first. Always looking for a bargain. That's an upgrade. Sweet. Baller. And I might stop at the inn real quick before we head out. Dragon Quest XI is delayed on the Switch, but it's gonna have exclusive content. I think if I'm gonna get anything for a console, if I know it's gonna be on the Switch, I'm gonna try to get it on the Switch primarily. It's just a more convenient system in a lot of ways. Should be over the currency's called Moolah. Yeah. Money or Zenny usually for me. So. And hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all, let alone beat them, but that means that we're never going to run out. If you'd like to see a list of all the games we've played so far, you can go to games.marstead.com. It's a VOD database, so everything we've ever played is on YouTube. And you can even vote for the next awesome game if you click on the voting tab at the bottom of that link. But if you're just hanging out or lurking, that's totally cool. Good to have you. Dragon Quest XI, September 4th. How is Dragon Quest XI received in Japan? I guess that's not a useful question, right? It's like a national institution over there. They'd never give a bad review. Ooh, JP. Spend to buy skills. Okay. And that happened because I got to 30 JP. Gotcha. Skills. Learn skills. Gain an upper hand in battle. Learn them in any order you choose. Whoa! They've come up with some cool abilities for this game's job system. Restores one's own HP and SP and cures status ailments. Yeah, may as well. Oh, that cost me 30 to learn? I see. I thought it was going to be free. I misread the SP cost. Donate BP, dodge a single attack, deal wind damage to all foes, pay money to summon hired help into the battlefield. Alright, well I think I picked the right option here for being out in the environments. Presumably that's a skill that I can only use in combat, it looks like. Yeah. Dragon Quest is like a national Japanese institution.
Open for
It's
business.
important to their national identity. You surprise your foe, hell yeah.
Let's do this.
Alright, there's merchant skills. Cool, so I can't use it out of combat, which is fine. Alright, that was my surprise attack. There's my break. And then we're gonna quadruple boosts. I like that they make you tap it all 4 times. You can just hold the button down.
You got more than you bargained
Didn't get a
for.
chance to collect, but that's okay. But you get extra money for being untouched. Very nice. I like that about Bravely Default as well. I wish Dragon Quest X would come out over here. I'd be interested to see Square's other MMO take.
Step right up. What
Final Fantasy XIV is actually pretty good.
What to do?
So you want to break, and then it's during the break window that you pump all your BP, I think. Although maybe not. Maybe you want to save your BP to use it to pump when you're sure to use it to break them again, right? Which I can't do this turn. Try it after this and see.
Now. Let's do this.
I mentioned bringing it to Switch, not sure it would be localized.
Thank you.
48 money. So I don't think we actually wanted to use 4 there. We want to try to optimize it to continue breaking the enemy. Alright, level up. Yeah, if they didn't have to develop 14 twice, very possible. It's a good point. Yo.
Hey,
Ahoy there, me hearty.
Mack!
I am looking for trouble, actually.
will this do?
Captains. 2 captains. Cool. The turned over chest sprite. Wonder if they fully modeled all the sprites in the game from every different angle like the characters are.
Sir!
They get to do some cool cinematography in this too that you would move with a typical top-down JRPG.
Mack! Yo-ho!
Did you say wine?
Aye.
Look how happy they are.
All right!
Toast to the landlubbers. To the limp-legged jellyfish of Rippletide.
Cheers! Cheers!
About to go in and murder all these people. Hey, Serp, how you doing? Alright, let's go. Save again, because we're like that. So far, I super dig this game, and I think I am gonna play it when it comes out using Marstead's Choice Day. I think I'm gonna give it at least 2 weeks, if not a month, for viewers who are interested in the game to buy it and beat it, so they don't feel like they can't tune in for spoilers. I know I got burned doing that with Breath of the Wild, but it'll be a little bit safer with this game, I think.
Whoa.
That'll also give the initial hype chance to die down, I feel like. I love the lighting in this game, too. Turn one down first. Now we go in and slit their throats.
Ready or not, here
It's
I
a
come.
sleepy, so
What
sleepy.
to do?
Battle sprites are so rad. I hope someone rips this game. Use them for my D&D game. I'm guessing they're not weak against spears since he's using a spear, but let's try the bow first, I guess. They are weak against bow. Red. Okay.
Here I go.
Try wind as well. Let's just see. Not weak against wind.
What to do?
Okay. Bow only. Good to know. I love how much of a emphasis they're putting on that system. The
Let's do this.
elemental resistance system.
Thank you. Let's do this.
And another break. Add a bunch of damage. Sounds rude. So sleepy. That tilt shift. Do some cool, like, hidden secrets in the dungeon.
Here I go.
Give trade winds a shot. It's not. Nothing has been weak against wind yet.
Here I go.
Yeah. I'm excited to see the game with a full party too.
What to do?
Spear only, good to know. Could do some cool puzzle bosses. Should be able to get a solid collect off here, yeah. $70. Ouch. Poison. Oh, poison hurts in this game. Holy shit.
Time to close up shop.
Do status effects heal after battle? I'm guessing no. I guess we'll find out. Oh, they do. Okay, sweet. But I still can't use my healing skill out of battle, so we'll just use it next fight. So much loot.
Ready or not, here I come.
So we established these guys are probably all weak against the same thing. Let's wake him up first. Oh, but I guess when he wakes up he gets his... Okay, understood. I should have actually used rest first. I think I prefer status as healing after battle, since it's usually trivial to deal with if they don't heal after battle, right? Just a pain in the ass.
What to do? Time for a break.
That's actually not that big of a heal. It does give the SP back for other abilities, though. That's good.
Time to close up shop.
It's one of those things where it's degenerate, right? Making statuses last outside of battle is just like, did you remember to go in your inventory and turn it off? It's not super interesting. Hey, do you want to sell me some stuff? Healing Grape, Olive of Life. No secret stash, it looks like. I'll check the other path just in case they don't connect. They might connect.
Step right up.
Yeah,
My turn now.
right. Well, while he's sleeping, I can just sit here and spam rest, right?
Time for a break.
It's 3 turns of that.
What to do?
I'm gonna rest the shit out of this turn.
For a break.
Alright, that's a pretty good use of the BP design space, now that I think about it. know.
My
Ouch.
do.
58%'s not great.
What to do? Here I go.
I'll take 84%. $50 is pretty good. Ouch, ouch.
Do this.
First try.
How's that?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in RPGs that I think is... It's a much easier genre to decide whether a certain design approach is, like, just correct or incorrect, you know? Thunder Soulstone, what does that do? I don't even know what it went into. Is it a key item? Oh, here we go. Deal lightning damage to all foes. Okay. Consumable combat item. Definitely never, ever, 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 ever using that.
Time for a break. My turn now. Yeah, time for a break.
Can build up a whole bunch of BP here too. Rad.
My turn now. What to do?
66%. It's similar enough to braving and defaulting without being the same idea. Is this game's release kind of a confirmation that there's not going to be a Bravely triple or whatever? Like the title screen font is very similar to Bravely Default, so it makes me assume that they're connected in some way. I think I missed loot up into the top, but I guess I'll get some more kills in the meantime.
Let's do this. Yeah, time for a break. Here I go.
Let's try to build up some BP another turn, even though I don't need the rest.
Break.
Oh, okay. That's right. You don't gain BP the turn after you spend it. So you have to take that into account when making a decision about which move to use.
Let's try. My turn now.
It is definitely the same team. Okay, that makes sense.
You got
Right.
more than you bargained for.
Bravely Default's already the ending of the series. This feels like it should be. Alright, that's a chest.
Step right up. My turn now.
Oh, they're done with this once it's released? Thank God. That's really good to hear.
Let's do this. What to
The original demo, you got BP every turn no matter what. I see why they changed it. Maybe discuss it in exclamation point hide first, Drobo. If you type exclamation point hide before your message, you can discuss it with other people in chat without giving it away to me. And then if chat agrees that it's fine to share, then go ahead. Thank you for asking first. They took fan feedback and fixed it? Right on. Is there any hope for patches to the main game? In that case? I should have just gone this way in the first place. Womp womp.
step right up.
keep going. Top yourself off with rest.
Time for a break. Let's do this.
I gotta sit like this, my hands out, because unfortunately the Switch is on the opposite side of the room, so the Joy-Con connection's not great.
Let's do this.
Emphasizing no DLC. Okay. No, that's good to hear. It's kind of neat seeing developers respond in that way. Was it like EA announcing specifically that there were no loot boxes in their new game? We know you don't like this.
Time to close up shop.
I think that there's a very specific, correct way to do DLC. It's like, I think Mario Kart has really good, high-quality, significant DLC, and Dark Souls. But other than that, I can't really think of too many other series that do DLC in a way that's not,
Step right up. My turn now.
what's the word? Threatening to the integrity of the game, of the product. It's kind of sad that it's a feature, right?
Nice try. Here I go. Here I go.
Breath of the Wild was good. Yeah. It felt pretty significant without feeling like it was cut from the main game, right? That's another problem with a lot of DLC where it feels like, oh, you could have included this, but you just charged me extra to buy it later.
How's that?
It's, yeah. So you're saying, Mega Man, that it looks like they do take extra damage when you break them, right?
Business.
I'm trying to do the math on this, like what the correct order is. I think it's maybe correct to only use boosts when they're already broken for the extra damage. But I'm trying to think if it actually matters. Because, like, how does it work out? I guess if they require multiple hits to break, then it might matter what order you do it in, but if they only require one hit to break, then I don't think it matters, but I'll have to think about it. Oh, that's what you were talking about, Drova? Very good. Well, thank you for holding off and discussing it in chat.
Time for a break.
I've noticed I'm doing more damage during it, but I'm trying to figure out if it really matters.
Time to close up shop.
Okay, so if they have multiple shield points, then it definitely matters, right? You definitely want to wait until they're broken to pop all your BP at once, because it'll cost you more in damage dealt. But I think if they only have one, then if you say you have 4 BP, the first hit's going to break them, and the following 3 hits are just going to do the extra damage. Whereas if you waited a turn, you would break them with a normal attack and just have an extra BP on your next turn. I'm a merchant, get it? Business, business, business. No kidding. I think I wanted to go underneath them first. See if it lets me load here. There's treasure in your dreams. I'm gonna rob you blind. There's something to play, Ricketeer. That's awkward. Me?
Mack!
Mick and Mack time.
You.
Hope it doesn't promptly kick me out of here. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna close software and go back in so I can go down the other way so I don't have to come all the way back into the dungeon. I can skip a lot of that dialogue. Voted for FF8 so much you gotta vote for other games. Yeah. If you're new to the channel, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all. But that means it will never run out. If you'd like to see a list of all the games we played so far, you can head over to games.marstead.com, and you can even vote for the next awesome game that Aki's talking about. If you click on that voting tab, there should be some instructions. Planning to play Octopath Traveler about a month after it comes out. Oh, I see the autosave. Gotcha. You have time for viewers to beat it, so they're not getting spoiled. Audio distortion? Yeah. Blink. Are you hearing it in the game audio or the microphone blaster? Reinitialize the capture card real quick in case that's the problem. Sec. Oh shit, now it's... there we go. I think it's back now. Cool game on the iPhone where you own a bar, so you have to go fight monsters, traditional RPG style, to get ingredients to make food and sell. Okay, thanks.
Step right up.
Game audio?
My
Okay.
turn now.
Thanks for the heads up. I'll try to keep an eye on it.
Time for
Yeah,
a
the
break.
opening of the battle theme sounds a lot like Wild Arms, doesn't it? It's very similar melody.
Let's do
There's
it.
a finite number of melodies out there. Alright, one hit, and then we'll do a full boost.
Let's
Got good deeps.
time to close up shop.
I'm a merchant. There are rivals. I'll try reinitializing the capture card one more time. The issue I can have with my capture card is a little possible to miss. Possible, yeah.
Now,
Oh, I
get down
got
to
custom
business.
sprites. Fantastic.
My turn now.
Presumably they're both weak against the same thing, right? Nope. Apparently not. Interesting.
Here I go.
I'll take a break from this battle here in a second to see if I can hear it on my laptop. Alright, we against wind finally.
Let's do this.
Both weak against wind, so if I had that AoE wind ability, it would be really good for this fight. Actually. I think we're gonna do a max BP rest here.
Time for a break. What to do?
Alright, one is weak against a bow, one's weak against a spear. Both weak against the wind.
What to
Got it.
do?
There's his break, and then next turn I should be able to quadruple break in the big deeps. I like how it doesn't consume extra SP to do that too. 397, nice. See if I end up wanting to use collect on these guys or not.
Let's do
82%.
Time for a break. My turn now. Nice try.
I'm gonna use a healing item here soon, I think.
My turn now. This should do the trick. My turn now. Thank you.
Sweet.
Here I go.
It's a ship word. I want to keep using trade winds. I think it's more efficient.
Nice try. What to do?
He's empty-handed, so I don't want to... Well, is it a waste? He's probably just going to die in like a turn anyway. Alright. The death animation. That's how we became captains in the first place. Uh-oh. It's one of those we want to kill them at the same time kind of enemies. Whoops. Probably should be using my BP now. Since it's maxed out, I'm not getting extra points anyway, right? Cool. Let's get a big trade winds deeps in here. Pretty good.
Nice try. Let's
Nice
do this.
try.
My turn now.
Not yet. Now, if you max out magic ability, does it hit them for that number of shield points? Or is that only with physical attacks that it works that way? Nice dodge. Only physical? I see. I was gonna say, that's a really interesting way to do, give you an incentive to use one over the other, you know?
Yeah. Time for a break.
Pretty good SP recovery. Basically have unlimited SP if you're patient enough. That hurts really bad.
Let's do it.
So we're gonna do a double bow here. And I'm gonna nuke him.
Now.
Kaboom! Spleesh. I'm gonna mute myself for a second, see if I can hear this audio distortion that Plaster's talking about on my laptop speaker.
Damn it all.
Okay. If you hear it again, Plaster, let me know and I'll mute and listen for it. I didn't hear it myself. I wonder what it was.
That's far enough.
Hey, thanks, Captain. Those who pick on the weak and defenseless have no right to speak of the way the world goes. Hey, I'm not weak and defenseless. I killed like 100 bird people on my way here. Rude. So far, the story presentation reminds me a lot of Seiken Densetsu 3 as well. Secret of Mana 2.
Oh?
Pitch lower. Huh.
What?
I occasionally have a capture card issue that's
serious?
pitch related, but...
Captain Leon Bastralle.
What?
What?
You're really the Leon Bastralle? Pirate no longer.
What do we have here?
This music's pretty sweet. I like this game's soundtrack.
Prepare yourselves.
He's actually a pirate after he kept saying savvy.
Oh my god. Oh my god! Although actually it was sort of obvious.
Here's quick.
Lass.
Call me Leon.
Mr. Leon.
When did Pirates of the Caribbean come out?
Yes.
First one? You're leaving so soon?
Of course.
Sure. Showa. Presumably this opening is going to be very similar to the opening in the actual game. So they're letting you save your progress. For 2005. Still feels like it's a recent movie. Surprising.
Lass.
Huh?
Reward?
Aye.
All about countless treasures. Take whatever you fancy. 15 years ago, goodness. Thanks for looking it up.
Oh?
Oh no, she's all about treasure.
Whoa!
This whole single line of dialogue. Is there a TV Tropes article for that? I know there's a Pro ZD video about it. Alternating between full voice acting, having like a Fire Emblem list of like 100 voice clips.
Well,
Is her name a play on treasure? Probably. Apparently all the characters, their first letter of their names spell out Octopath. Which is very Japanese. Therese. That is Love Unforgotten, a work left behind by Bastion, a famed painter from a land to the west. Can never forget the memory of his first love who tragically passed when the two were babes of 13 years. His life's work depict her as a woman grown. Can I pick something else? She's like...
Of course.
How about this chest full of gold? Yeah, I like it a lot more than Bravely Default so far as well. You can get turned off to Bravely Default pretty quickly. I think, at least so far, this is pretty low-stakes slice-of-life stuff. And maybe it, builds up to an encounter with God at the end like every other JRPG, but it would be kind of neat if it was just 8 different little slices of life.
huh? Yeah!
This is the one.
This is...
Is there a low-stakes JRPG? Left behind by a man I once let aboard. Yeah. Well, even Bravely Default, like, the second half of it made sense. I saw what they were trying to do with it. It would have benefited from some sort of self-aware fast-forward button, right?
I'm not so sure about that.
It's like Acts 1 and 2 are really good. The first half of Act 3 is awful. And the second half of Act 3 is really good. So we get in... But they're definitely not about, like, killing God. More
Thank
like the
you.
Fates of Nations.
Fare thee well, lass. Perhaps a day will come when you and I meet as rivals. But I won't be beat. I swear it on my honor as a merchant. Weigh anchor, men. The ocean calls.
I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Within those dusty pages, I felt like there was something that would change my life forever.
Yeah.
Can't wait to go home and read it all.
No, I'd love to see more low-stakes games. Tressa spotted $280 left behind by an unfortunate soul. How does that work? I mean, she's spotted on the world map somewhere? Hollywood's finally coming around to making some low-stakes stories. Like, Logan is very low-stakes. It's one of the best comic book movies ever. As is both Deadpool movies. Still can't get the memorial harpoon from her. I don't know what triggers her to give it off.
Hello there.
Yeah, not an RPG that goes out of its way to make things low stakes. I feel like it's kind of a contradiction because RPGs are all about growing in power over time, right? So can you really make one that's letting the players continue to grow in power? Maybe you don't. Maybe they don't just get stupid strong. Yeah, spectacle creep is a good way to describe it. Already bought all his shit. Still being a creeper back there. Could've gotten an iron spear, that would've made that whole segment a lot easier. Well, now I can easily buy everything, so I may as well. Let's see. Sunland Spears. 8,000. Really want to save up for that instead. It's like the, was it the load sword in Chrono Trigger that you can farm for at the beginning of the game? I think it also costs about 8,000 before you go through. Yes. The original Dragon Quest is pretty low stakes. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the bigger one, or the littler one. It pains me. Yeah. In that book were the records of a traveler, one who had journeyed to the far ends of the realm. Spellbound, Tressa forgot time and read every one of his adventures.
This world is brimming with treasures.
Yeah.
And I know what I'm searching for is out there somewhere.
So I'll set sail for the horizon. And the great big world beyond.
That settles it.
Is it the stories of the Octopath Traveler? Hey, I read this great book.
It's time I see the world.
I'm gonna go be a wizard.
What?
Love you.
I'm going to leave Rippletide and become a traveling merchant. I'll see the world and have customers from every corner of the realm.
That's funny, sir.
Mom, just think about what you're saying.
Don't you kind of play as a bad guy in a lot of the Disgaea games?
Traveling merchant? I won't have it. You're not even a stationary merchant.
That's pretty good.
You need at least 2 more years of stocking the store, and 3 years of working the shop front. That's 5 years before you're ready to go anywhere.
Slice of
Sorry,
Life would be
Mom.
perfect for an
My
RPG
mind's made
parody. Yeah, that would be fun. Where like you start getting progressively more crazy slice of life upgrades. Like a level 99 slice of life
I had
character.
a feeling you'd say that.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff, play around with the design space of a battle system, right?
You have my blessing.
Do something like Renowned Explorers, where combat is about dialogue.
Oh, darling! This is our little girl you're talking about.
I know. But I had a feeling this day would come. She is her father's daughter, after all.
What? Who's her dad? Is it Darth Vader?
Being a good merchant boils down to experience. That's just what you'll find out there. Go and see the world, Tressa, until your heart's content.
Thanks, guys.
I understand, but I can't help but worry, Tressa.
He just said she's like her father. Which is a weird thing to say about oneself.
There, won't you?
Uncle
Be
Owen and
strong,
Peru.
And may the sacred flame light your path.
Sacred Flame.
Thanks, Ma. Thanks, Pa.
That'd be awesome, this name.
And I'm sorry for leaving.
Going to buy milk.
But I'll come back one day, and you'll see just how much I've learned.
I guess I could see that too, sir.
We wouldn't know what to do if you didn't. After all, you're our #1 employee.
Oh. Bye, Mom. Bye, Pa.
I haven't played Golf Story yet. I heard it was cool, though. Save point. All conflicts, no matter how unrelated, are resolved with golf. Like, how in Driver San Francisco, all conflicts are resolved through driving.
This journal? The author only filled half the pages. The other half is still blank. Guess I'll just have to pick up where he left off.
World politics and moon Nazi invasions are solved by playing Mahjong.
I'll write down everything. I won't leave any stone unturned.
You do that, Tressa.
From the next chapter on, this will be my story. I'll travel far and wide and journey on until every last page is filled.
I recognize her voice. I can't place it, though.
I don't know what lies beyond the horizon.
Yeah. This is my story.
One way to find out.
Is that like a common idiom in Japanese? I feel like I've heard that in more
See ya,
than one
Rippletide.
JRPG, not just Final Fantasy X. Like, kept you waiting, huh?
My adventures as a merchant are just beginning.
And I'm gonna travel
I'll
'em.
start by following in the footsteps of a nameless traveler. And journey far, far beyond.
Right. 7 others who await you. Why not venture out and find them? Together you can defeat even the greatest foes. Oh, venture out and find them. That is very, Seiken Densetsu 3-esque. Neat. Hey, it's Ramza. I do have a healing grape to spare, no problem. Showa. And this kit. People who need your help all across Orstera. That's a cool name for a world. Help the people of the realm using the power of path actions. Okay. There's more than one way to solve their problems. So ends the tale of Kit the Traveler. Neat. So is it expected this game's gonna have a lot of replayability based on what order you play as the characters? I'm probably only gonna do one playthrough. We'll see, I guess, how long it is. If it's expected that you play through it multiple times.
Step right up.
Or Terra.
What to do?
Alright, this is a level 2 guy. That's okay. Break him here.
What to do? What?
Bye-bye.
You got
Yeah, that'd be great.
what you bargained for.
Short slice of life JRPG. I think they said it's like 60 to 100 hours, right? Spiriting Plum. I love the shiny sand. It's cool.
Open for business. What to do?
Yeah, that's how I interpreted that. Like, that side quest is able to be done different ways depending on which character approaches them. Oh, you think it gets cut off for the demo? Oh, I see. Okay, that makes more sense. I see what you're saying.
My turn.
Mega Man? Sweet. Andrea got to watch Spyro. It's one of her favorite games.
How's that?
Couple different paths we can take here.
Step right up.
There's a level
What to
2.
do? How's that?
Oh yeah, we're Totes gonna get the Spyro remake. Andrew is very psyched for it. Danger level 1. Huh. Maybe it's, the fact that it's even bothering to mention danger levels suggests that it's a little bit more non-linear, the final product.
Ready or not? Here I
Distortion's
come.
back? Okay, let me listen
Let's
for it real
do
quick.
this.
Yeah, weird. I don't hear anything on my end. It sounds the same coming from the stream as it does in my ear. And each of these battle themes have sounded the same so far. I'm trying to figure out what it would be. Like, what could cause distortion for you only
My turn now.
in both your speakers and your headphones? Can you try tuning in on your phone or something, Plaster? Or on a different device entirely?
My
Sounds
turn
okay on
now.
your phone. Okay. Well, thanks for reporting. I appreciate it. I get stressed out about the possibility of there being audio issues with games.
Nice try. What to What to
I'm trying to think what on a PC could cause audio distortion issues. It's really weird. I guess your sound chip could be crap in the bed, but that's weird.
Ready or not?
Hello.
Here I come.
You surprise your foe. Heck yeah.
My turn now.
It could be a sound card problem, yeah.
Time to close up shop.
Windows has all sorts of creative ways to screw up your audio. No kidding. I love how this game seems to really respect your time, right? It's one of my biggest problems with JRPGs. Systems that have a really high attention burden for no reason. Games that have really imprecise dialogue. And games with a lot of UI bloat or lack of UI precision. Like, Skyward Sword is a really good game, but the UI is really imprecise. Oh shit, I forgot to do the boost. Whoopsies. Does this game have any, Bravely Default-esque... Oh, can I collect extra money from them? Or does that just increase the... I think it just increases the success chance. Okay, good to know.
Let's do this. You got more than you bargained for.
I forgot what question I was going to ask, my bad. I don't even remember what my train of thought was there. Just a success. Okay, thank you, Drobo. Fortifying nuts. Faller. I like the world map with the moving ships and stuff. That's pretty cool. Trade Tempest. Wound damage to all foes. 1 BP to an ally. Dodge a single attack. Pay money to someone else. Let's do Trade Tempest. Unlocked a new support skill. Now equip support skills from the skills menu. Cool. I love passives. They're my favorites. I assume it is. I assume it's like a skill seed, Drobo. That's why they let you use it outside of combat. I got an evasion one earlier. Okay, maximum of 4 at a time. Ooh, endless items. When a character with the skill uses an item, there's a 25% chance the item will not be consumed. That's cute. Wonder if that evolves over time. It would make those consumable... That's actually a really clever way to make a merchant class relevant. I feel like that's kind of hard to do. You have very little design space to explore, but if you can eventually make it so that, hey, they can use consumable combat items without actually consuming them or significantly reducing the chance of consuming them. Suddenly there's a big portion of the game that a lot of players don't really pay attention to that's relevant to them. Not spear.
Nice try. Let's do this.
Even with there being 4 passives, it's really hard.
Do this.
A lot of games that let you pick different slots. Alright, it's weak against bows and that's it. Good to know.
Here I go.
Some obvious choices pop up pretty quickly. But 4 is a good number. Like, the number of passives you get in Final Fantasy Tactics or Final Fantasy V definitely is not enough. The problem to me is that when you're really strictly limiting the number of passives you can have equipped, it kind of forces most players to select only the most universally applicable passives, even if there's a cool, like, occasionally relevant one. Like, what's the one in Final Fantasy Tactics where you can catch a thrown item? Barely ever comes up. I guess it's my preference if something is super situational that it just be automatically equipped and not count against the total number of things you can equip.
What to do?
That or you can do a system where it costs some resource to equip things, like skills.
Try. What to do?
Is it like the badge system in Hollow Knight? You can have it cost less for a really situational ability. In the case of Hollow Knight, I probably would have made its quality of life upgrades cost 0. Still kind of take advantage of the design space of that. It's freaking plum. 4 out of 32. Okay. It's not so bad. We are playing this demo until the timer in the top right hits 3 hours, not until the save file locks out. Alright, let's use the bow. go here.
Here I go.
There's this cool scan line thing on all the sprites that kind of lets them change the camera zoom. I didn't really like it at first, but the more I'm seeing it, it's kind of a neat stylistic effect. I wonder how they came up with that.
You got more than you bargained for.
I like her so far. She's fun. I'm glad I picked a less obvious starting character. An obvious one would have been like the thief or the warrior. Yeah. 10-2 did a lot right from a mechanical perspective. Even if it committed a lot of story sins. Speed plus 10. I do like that purchase mechanic. All these NPCs suddenly become relevant when maybe they're not on other characters. Accessories don't count. I guess that makes sense. Ambrosia milk.
How fare thee? And thus.
Again, big fan that there's all these characters in the towns and they don't all have dialogue. I feel like that's the RPG equivalent of not letting you press a jump button unless if there's something for you to jump to in a game like Last of Us or God of War. Resting in. I just leveled up, so we're already topped off. Well, this definitely feels like one of the more like open world turn-based JRPGs that I've played. I'm trying to think of some other examples that are like that. It's like, here's a map, go wherever you want. I'm guessing that means that there's not as intense of a linear story, or that the story doesn't converge until really late in the finished game. Glaive, staff. Okay. Circlet's a pretty big upgrade, isn't it? Oh, I get the pointed hat gives you more elemental attack. Circlet increases SP. Guess I'll save my money for now, but I'll remember that it's there. What can I do for you? Change party. Equipment. Gear a tail. Restore reputation. Your reputation is unblemished. Interesting. Emperor Crab.
That's right.
It's supposed to be Scholar Town. It was actually one of the other characters I was planning to pick up. Iron Axe. Sure. Can I buy stuff from these kids? Sell me your childhood toys. Odds and ends. Presumably I can sell that for a profit. 1330, 380. That's why they're there, right? Oh, it's actually less money than I would have. So why would I choose to do that? Unless if maybe I get a discount power later on where I can buy this stuff in the purchase menu for less. The hip flask is also worth less than I paid for it. Maybe there's a certain NPC later that I can specifically sell it to. I kind of want to undo my spending there. I'm excited to see if they manage to give you a reasonable incentive to swap out your party. Like, given that they let you do a change party members menu, tells me that there's going to be more than... the maximum party size is smaller than 8. And something I always fear in a game like this is that I'm going to find an ideal party and then never use half the roster. And really, one of the only RPGs I've played that has gotten around that is probably Final Fantasy VI. I guess somewhat Final Fantasy X because of the ability to freely swap party members in battle. a kitty. Well, I'm the merchant. I should be telling them I'm not going to pay you 1,400 for your toys. But I guess I don't have a way of knowing what they're actually worth. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to kind of figure that out through gameplay. See that being the case. Got a discount there. Hey Kodiak, how you doing, man? What's up, dude? Soothing seed. It's that cheap, I may as well. Components probably go to the alchemist, I would guess. Yeah, I like what I'm seeing so far. Ingredients used in a dish for the king. I've gotten quite a few of so far. Palace Gate. Empowering Earring. That's pretty cheap. I'll take it. Did you play the most recent demo, Kodiak? The Prologue demo? It's capped at 3 hours. That's the one I'm doing right now. Since the save carries over to the full game in July. Cyrus, that's the scholar. Nice. His name is Cyrus, and he is a scholar. This is Atlasdam, nestled in the fertile plains of the Flatlands. It's home to the Royal Academy, where many a scholar studies night and day. So after this guy, I might go chart. Well, I don't know how much time we're gonna have. We might only be able to do his story, but then I want to find the apothecary. I'm gonna go in reverse order of how obviously attractive each character seems to a typical combat-oriented JRPG player. It's in that library where he learns of a grievous theft. Certain that one of his fellow scholars is the culprit, Cyrus sets out alone to confront the man. Yeah, you can, but you only get one save file, Kodiak, so only one of them is going to carry over to the full game. Complete Chapter 1 of their story, they'll join you on your journey. After Chapter 1, you can change your party members to the tavern. Okay, that's cool. So we warp back as though we started with them. I was about to ask if it was going to be super different depending on which character you start as.
So it was that Atlasdam was founded some 2 centuries ago. Indeed, our fair city-state is among the longest standing on the continent of Austera. But there was another city-state with a history as long and proud as our own that came to a tragic ruin only 8 short years ago. Now, who can tell me its name? How about you, Therese?
He's in a very different point in his life than Tressa was.
I think it was...
Okay, see you, Plaster.
No need to get all flustered. There's no shame in not knowing an answer, so long as you have a desire to learn. The answer is in your textbook. Go on now, look it up.
Yes, Professor. Let's see. I believe it was Hornburg.
That is correct.
I like this guy.
Hornburg was ruled over by a royal family, said to be descended from priests of an ancient and long-forgotten religion. On the other hand, our fair Atlasdam was founded by one of the original clans that inhabited the Flatlands. Who can tell me how many clans lived in the Flatlands at the time? Your Highness?
Seems like a really excessive setup for 2 students, right?
The histories have it that 8 clans did live in the Flatlands in those days.
Correct you are, Your Highness. It was a time of great strife here in the Flatlands as the 8 clans waged a long and bitter war.
How many 8s are in this game?
Change would come when the armies of Grandport invaded these lands some 2 centuries ago.
Isn't the Octopath concept, the Eightfold Path, like a real Buddhism thing?
At the time, the rulers of Grandport sought to exert their influence over territories inland. Ironically, this compelled the warring tribes to put aside their differences and unite against their common foe. Oh, but look at the time. We'll pick up where we left off next time. Don't forget to read chapters 3 and 4 before our next lecture. And be prepared to answer questions on any of the material within.
Yes, Professor. Thank you for another most stimulating lecture, Professor Albright.
I like the idea of a character starting as already being pretty established in whatever their class is.
Hello?
It's such a worn-out trope to, like, play as a noob warrior or a noob scholar or whatever.
Splendid!
You right, sir. Yeah, let's hit this square nod. Take you back to Final Fantasy IV, right? Back when there was only one thing you could do to have a sprite character emote. Sorry, one sec, my Joy-Con died. Come on. There you go. Oh, there's recommended levels for the other characters. That's pretty neat. That is the inventory carryover. He uses stabs. Gotcha. Saga Frontier, that's what I was trying to remember, Kodiak. It was a Super Nintendo game, right? I remember renting it from Blockbuster way back in the day, because it was this kind of a similar concept, right, where you start from a bunch of different characters and their paths converge later on. I remember being weirded out by it, or was it PS1 maybe, not Super Nintendo? That sounds right. Can't purchase things from them, so I'm not playing as that character anymore. Okay, that lines up better with my timeline if it was super early PS1. It's not super polished though, right? It's Japanese only. Was it also square?
Professor Albright.
Heavens, you're still here.
Your Highness.
The truth
Careful,
of the matter
Prof.
is,
But of course.
Get translated one, sir. Yeah.
Indeed.
I think all the classic,
Very
like
astute of you.
SNES, Japanese-only games have been translated into English now. Bahamut Lagoon is done. Final Fantasy V got an official release.
The truth is,
The royal family of Hornburg were guardians of an ancient power. It's not an appropriate workplace relationship, Cyrus. Also, I want to hear more about the ancient power.
with pleasure.
Why, thank you.
Well, they do seem older, so it's not super weird.
Indeed.
You doubt it's gonna end up being slow stakes? I wish it was, though. Wouldn't that be great? Just 8 little low stakes stories that maybe converge into a slightly medium stakes full party adventure.
Ah. Good day.
She just wants Senpai to notice her. Juicy and medium rare.
Ah, yes.
He's clueless to the fact that she was like eavesdropping the whole time.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nope, it's Cyrus. I was actually thinking about playing as him at the beginning, but I went with the merchant. Him and the apothecary were the 2 other ones I was interested in.
Cyrus.
An original copy of The Church of the Flame, A Complete History, had been donated to our archives. How was The Thief, Kodiak? Fun?
With pleasure.
The previous demo have any carryover to the main game?
Actually,
You can? That's cool. The merchant, you can go around buying stuff from people. The opposite of pickpocketing them. Titillated by the prospect of acquiring new knowledge. You kind of have to, like, set aside a lot of time.
Many thanks.
I like this one so far. I much prefer it to Bravely Default. We'll see how it develops. It has a lot of potential now that none of those wave functions have collapsed, right? Oh, how's 11 treating you?
An interesting dilemma.
Yeah, get the thief and the merchant. Still back the money you bought their stuff with, exactly. See me at once.
The truth is...
I see.
Missing?
Many thanks.
Oh, private server. Interesting. It didn't occur to me that people were running those. Is there anything that's missing from them, content-wise? I see.
Cyrus Albright, by your request, sir.
Do enter.
I'm still blown away by this game's art. I love this approach.
My apologies for summoning you on such short notice.
How might I be of assistance, Headmaster?
Little bit.
That treatise on arcane studies you published. What in the gods' names were you thinking?
No, he really sounds like an advisor.
Sir? I do believe I made my hypothesis perfectly clear.
I'm not talking about your hypothesis. You went out of your way to cite one of the texts in our spiritual archives.
Okay. Yeah. I stopped playing it after Ottergon. That's interesting.
Knowledge housed in those tomes is the Royal Academy's greatest treasure. It is not to be divulged to the public at your will. Laying it bare in one of your silly papers is out of the question.
I am fully aware of the value of those tomes, Headmaster. It is for that very reason I would share the knowledge with my peers.
You are to share nothing.
Like his
Wisdom is for the Academy and the Academy alone.
going into combat pose over there, buddy.
But that goes against everything.
This might give Andrew a PTSD.
even my best argument is sure to fall on deaf ears. The Headmaster sees knowledge as a medal or precious stone, something to be appreciated by its rightful owner alone. Knowledge is power, and power is to be hoarded. An unfortunate attitude, indeed.
I hear you, Cyrus. Go make fantasy Wikipedia.
My sincere apologies, Headmaster.
So,
Is there anything else you
the
need?
scholar's storyline is about paywalls?
That is all. You may go. Wait, there was one last thing.
Actually, there's an interesting story to tell about that.
I heard the special archives will be closing early today. If you have research to do there, I would do so quickly.
Good gods.
There you go, sir.
Thank you for your concern, Headmaster. In that case, I'll be on my way.
I like Cyrus's voice actor, too.
Enter.
Excuse me.
What's the matter?
It's about Professor Albright. Uh-oh. Getting me in trouble? Rude as hell. So there's a service called Archive, arxiv.org. I think physicists first started using it, but there might be more people that are using it now. It's a place to pre-publish papers for free, without a paywall or without peer review. And it is definitely a double-edged sword. It's beneficial a lot of the time to just be able to read new research very quickly and get it up there in time for a conference or the like. But it also means because there's no peer review process, you can put whatever the hell you want onto Archive, whether it's been fully researched or not. And Andrea's had entire years of her career devoted to debunking something somebody haphazardly threw up on Archive that got a lot of press. She even knows people that have gotten tenure positions because of, like, how much attention their Archive paper got. It's really annoying. I haven't seen Vixra. No, how does that work? Archive backwards?
Can I help you?
I think there's a way to do both, right? Make it easy to
A
access
moment of your time.
without letting people
My
get away with
apologies.
publishing unreviewed research.
Say it is not so.
Actually,
Taking books from the archives is forbidden. Who has the keys to the vault? It's stuff that's so out there it doesn't even meet the standards of Archive. Oh my god. There's got to be some scary stuff on there. With her PhD, Andrew, I'm sure you do too, Leon, gets so much spam from just nut jobs trying to send them their theory on time travel. You ever watch a movie where
Indeed.
a character who's completely right, but they are totally a nut job, tries to send a letter about their actually true theory of time travel, because it's a movie, obviously, and everything is true. They try to send it to the university, and the university shuts them down. You're like, that bad, evil university, like, you should see what they get in their email most of the time.
I see.
You might have some empathy for the skepticism. Not sure if a university email you get less. Yeah.
Leave it to me.
Tome will be back on the shelf before you can bat an eyelash. So the main quest of the scholar is retrieving a library book. Stay at these low stakes!
Time to do some research.
The game is afoot. Low stakes JRPG hype. Let's get all excited for something that's totally not going to happen. Nobody believed me, but I was right. That one's frustrating. The other one is, how many PhDs you have to have in order to be impressive. Try pressing Y in front of a townsperson. Cyrus can scrutinize and gain new knowledge from the townspeople. Glean new knowledge, that's cool. So he's like Sherlock Holmes. Of course I gotta key the archives. No, I wasn't sleeping, I was resting my eyes. Oh, the guard situation. That's cool. I like that. And it gives you a marker if you've already used your ability on them. Nice. Yeah, right. So the one PhD is no longer impressive, right? You have to have at least 2. And then we just watched Thor Ragnarok again last night, and Bruce Banner has 7 PhDs. It's like, come on, chill out. I was in charge of protecting the king. This guard suffered a serious leg injury and was transferred to a calmer post. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, you better have gotten that PhD in your teens, exactly. If you got it at a reasonable time. It's super funny, because if someone in real life told me that they had more than 1 PhD, I'm like, wow, you really can't focus, can you? Well, now visits this place every day in memory of her late husband. Even after she passes, she wishes to be by her husband's side. I really like that custom world exploration mechanic, whether it's pickpocketing or buying stuff or gleaning information about NPCs. Oh, that's cool. It's a neat way to use the tilt-shift papercraft look of the game. Mind read them for extra information. Well, okay, so it's not saying that if you don't have an education, you shouldn't be allowed to talk. I am resoundingly opposed to that. In fact, there's kind of an opposite problem where people will be too afraid to talk to Andrea because she's so educated, but I don't have a college education, right? Like, I think that that's completely wrong. What I'm specifically talking about is people who are actually crazy, like talking about their private, unreviewed theory of time travel, or like why time is actually a cube, or why the Earth is flat. Very different concepts. You know full well I have a key to the special archives, and I would never be so foolish as to let it fall into the wrong hands. In any event, I've had no reason to peruse those tomes in quite some time. Okay. I think that education and standing is really just a question of your depth of knowledge. We have an unfortunate tendency in society to place value on some knowledge and not value on other knowledge. Like, you know, I've told this story before, but we have a friend who's a physicist who he went to see his wife's family. His wife's brother, his brother-in-law, is a mechanic. He knows a lot about cars. And our friend John, who's a physicist, doesn't know anything about cars. He doesn't work on them. So he went to talk to his brother-in-law, and he's like, hey, can you tell me more about how an engine works? 'Cause I don't know how that works. And his in-laws were like, what are you talking to him for? He's a dummy. You're supposed to be a physicist. What does he have to offer you? And it's like, yeah, I know a lot about physics. I don't know anything about cars. Like, I know a lot about video games. I don't know anything about plumbing. It's not fair to say that, like, being a doctor is a higher form of knowledge than being an electrician or a plumber or an HVAC technician or someone who's really into hip-hop, you know. Knowledge is knowledge, and it's, we can all learn something from each other. Every person out there knows something you don't, is a Bill Nye quote. So we're getting a PhD over the course of the summer while visiting his daughter at Cambridge. Uh-oh. Oh, I've done enough research, okay. All the information I need to solve the case. Doesn't give me a chance to re-review them, unfortunately. Headmaster and the guard, I remember them saying that.
Of course.
One belongs to the headmaster and one to the guardsman. Whose key was used to unlock the archives? The Headmaster's kind of the bad guys. Nope.
Not exact.
Okay. He wasn't evil, it turns out.
God. Oh my God! Although
hasn't visited
actually
the
it was sort of
archives.
obvious.
Carr's been acting suspiciously of late, even sleeping while on active duty. It could be true for bachelor's degrees, but most PhD programs require a lot of effort. 4 years from the start of the program minimum. That's what the guard is. It's only a matter of time.
No.
Guard doesn't have a motive. Someone stole the key from him? Culprit must be someone who understands the true value of the tome, which must be one of my colleagues. One who has accrued a frightful gambling
Which
debt.
means that... Yes.
That shifty scholar, Russell. Alright, I'll have to know. I assumed that when they were going to do this, they were going to give me a chance to review the evidence. But next time they have me do a thing like this, I'll make sure I read them all very closely and write stuff down. I hear that chaos. Hey, it's open now. Fantastic.
Now then.
Fieldwork time. I'm kind of seeing the matrix of how these opening stories are oriented. I wonder if they scale the combat to be more difficult when you have multiple party members. That's cool. Teach you about the character, give you a bunch of backstory, have you run around and talk to NPCs, give you their special, unique ability, purchase, scrutinize, and so on. Thunder Soulstone, Light Soulstone. Silver Hairpiece. And then you do a combat sequence. Soporific and befuddling effects. Alright, let's go scope it out. Dungeon time in the Subterranean study. Of course there's gonna be monsters down here. Why wouldn't there be? Do you have any JP? No, he starts at level 1. Okay. That's fair. I'm guessing that you're kind of set over to a dungeon that's low level right next to the character you just recruited.
Let's do this!
Oh, his ability is he knows one of their vulnerabilities at the start of combat. That's cool. It's a very classic scholar ability, right? Like, Spy, I want to say, from Final Fantasy IV. Even though Cid's not a scholar. Fireball, Ice Wind. I dig it. Also weak against Staff.
Interesting dilemma.
What to do?
Also weak against Fire. But not Wind. I think that the left to right weaknesses are all physical attack weapons.
Here I go!
That's very cool. And Spear. Basically weak against a lot of shit. Baller. Leveling up right away, always a treat. I like the way they laid out everyone's jobs in this too. They're all pretty different from your traditional Final Fantasy stuff. Oh, and he learns a new thing every battle, so he eventually knows all of it. That's fantastic. Big fan. So characters each have their own BP total. It's important to know.
Interesting dilemma.
And you get him rest so he can get his SP back.
Not bad. A passing.
It's fire and ice spells. It's more interesting being a scholar here than just a black mage, right? I think we've already explored that pretty closely. Alright, this one's weak against ice. Not bow and arrow. Let's try the spear.
What is the logical course of action?
I know this is a spoiler, but how do I phrase it? Is the order of vulnerabilities always the same? Like, will spear always appear? If an enemy is weak against everything, will it always follow from left to right in the same order? I wonder if I can use that to deduce, oh, he must not be weak to any other magic than that one, you know? And what is this enemy? That's a good question.
Step right up.
Ambushed. He's like a sword thing? Ice sentinel? Dude, I don't know.
Now, what next?
Oh, I start with, okay.
Let's do.
He's got little sword arms, though. Do you get it? She's a merchant. I really like that lantern. It's very pretty.
Can't we settle this like gentlemen? What is the logical course of action?
Oh, flames! Rain! Rock!
It's my turn now.
Fire, water, wind, and star?
What is the logical course of action?
Oh, flames!
Rip Earth.
Thus,
I love the combat in this game. It unfortunately throws away some of Bravely Default's innovations. Maybe the full game would be a little bit different in that respect. Like, the boost system kind of feels like a streamlined Brave system. I guess no one ever really used Default. Oh yeah, the art style is fantastic. Agree. Bow and arrow, very nice. I think most flying enemies are probably weak against that. Maybe wind as well. Oh, it hits both enemies. Neat. I didn't know that.
interesting dilemma.
Oh, ice! Hit them through!
Ice. Got it.
My turn now.
Interesting.
So sleepy.
Oh, ice! Hit them through!
Here I go.
Brad.
You got more than you bargained for.
I think the combat is scaling a bit based on me having multiple party members. Like, we're now dealing with 2 enemies at a time, which never happened in Tressa's main path. Now this guy only does something with certain other characters, presumably. Interesting. Wait, I want to explore the rest of the dungeon. Sorry. I don't have an excuse. The game completely tells me where the objective is, too. Fortunately, it loads up pretty fast, so... I walked up to Cyrus and I said, "Hey, what are you doing? I'm a travel person." And he's like, "I'm trying to find a book." And you're like, "I'd like to help you find the book." And then it did a flashback to what it had been like had we started playing as Cyrus instead. I said, "Well, now that I've explained why I'm looking for this book, let's go travel together." I have a feeling that the other stories are going to terminate similarly to Tressa's, where they're going to realize that they want to go see the world and do stuff. Return a library book. Those intense, low-stakes quests. I guess this dungeon's much smaller than the other one. I did not play the first demo, no.
Here I go.
This is my first time playing this game at all.
What is the logical course of action?
Oh, flames! Rage! Wrong!
What to...
Interesting dilemma.
You really want to be using his spells, it looks like.
Let's do...
Got him.
Time to close up shop.
Thought so. Old coin. Alright, that's all I needed. All we picked up so far. Libraries and Square games are very dangerous. It's true. Which is a fair price of sold. Okay. I'm suddenly extremely stressed out by all of those fetches a fair price items. Given the existence of the merchant, I could see her getting a passive later that uses that. Who wouldn't like what I have in store for you? Axe.
What to do?
Probably sword is the first one. I think the order is always the same.
Course of action.
I don't think the bloom is that big of a deal. It's a deal breaker.
Let's do this.
Sweet.
How's that?
Yeah, it's stylized. How can we use crazy lighting effects with traditional sprites?
What?
Professor Albright.
Excuse me. A moment of your time.
I haven't the faintest clue of what you're talking about. Uh-huh.
Come now.
You're a thief, and I can prove it.
The truth is...
Friend the guardsman was just waking from his slumber.
Huh?
Incredulous noises.
Oh.
Keeping up on our old friend summons, are we? So sleepy.
Is that so?
You gonna beat the shit out of him? Sweet. Whoa! Wow. He's a little bit bigger than the last boss we fought. I do like big boss sprites, but it's funny. I think against lightning, which you don't have access to yet.
The winds of Art of Haggling.
possibly weak against another element too. Waterless. Nice. That's funny. Yeah, I really like it too. Get extra detail in there.
My turn now. The winds of fortune are howling.
An interesting dilemma.
Oh, flames! Rain! Wrong!
Yeah, Lufia, I can see that. His ads have a lot of health. I'm waiting to use ice. I'm guessing that the bad guys are weak against ice. Because the elementals are ice. Uh-oh. Oh shit. Alright, well that happened. Maybe should have leveled up a little bit more. 100% chance of success tells me those things are almost dead. They were within one hit of dying, bummer.
What to do?
Alright, I've got 4 of those. That's not so bad. Not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. I like games that make MP, recovery, and revival extremely expensive, you know?
Oh, ice! Pierce them through!
Is weak against ice, I call
My
it.
turn now. Let's do this.
Busted up your turn, dum-dum. Get some SP back here. I don't think he's gonna get to go before I get to use it, though, unfortunately.
Oh, ice! Pierce them through!
What did you expect attacking a mage giant?
What to
Right.
do?
What is the logical course of action?
He is weak against staff.
Turn now.
What about bow? Nope.
An interesting dilemma. Oh, ice! Pierce them through!
So let's save that for now.
My turn.
Ooh, double move. Not cool. Lettering an incantation. Not a fan of that, buddy. I don't think I can stop him in time. Maybe if I do multiple staff hits with Cyrus, I might be able to. I guess we'll try that here in a second.
Let me help.
Whoa, that was not the item I meant to use. Bummer. I like using Break to interrupt a channeled ability. That's cool.
Let's try this.
It's an opportunity to top everybody off.
This should do the trick. What to do?
Will this demo kick you out if you go over the time limit during a boss fight, or when does it trigger the 3-hour limit? Save point or something? I like this combat because I only really have the staff as a way to quickly trigger his weakened state. So there's kind of an interesting exploration of the battle design there where I'm trying to use his staff to break him at the right time so that I can then unlock a big nuke with my other party members. Kicks you after you use screen transition that prompts you to save.
What to do? Phew, time for a break.
They're like, we gotta come up for stuff for a scholar to do. I don't know, maybe she lies down occasionally. Or a merchant to do, I should say.
Now, what next?
That attack sucks.
What to do?
82% chance. I guess I'll go for collect. 1920. Okay, we want to use that on bosses from now on. Holy shit, that's pretty good. Three, two. Oh no, Aki. Made the battle last half an hour longer. Gross. Here's our big break. It's the rest of his SP. There's way less damage than Tressa does with her shit. Sweet. Put all that XP in JP. Cyrus can probably equip something now.
Just so. Say it is not so.
All the more unforgivable. Not returning a library book. What a bastard.
Thank you.
You really did crack the case of the stolen book.
Indeed.
That's an open book. Okay. Like, I mean, I knew that earlier. When I first saw her take it out of the treasure chest, I thought it was an ashtray. She didn't steal, she collects. Yeah, right. Turn on the cat cam real quick. Ben's being a butt. That's not Ben.
Actually,
Aggressive borrowing.
yes.
I see.
I see.
I see. I see.
I see. I see.
I see.
Actually,
Tremendous loss. Is it another worldwide quest for him to go on?
Is Autumnus?
His Optimus is one of his, like, 50 canned dialogue lines. It's funny. Hey, Isla, how you doing? How's your week treating you? I don't know that spotted money left behind by an unfortunate soul. I mean, it just gives it to me for free, I guess. Purchase. Hairpiece, linen robe. Good thing to spend all your money on in the game, jeez. Modest man and purveyor to the royal family who takes great pride in his goods. You know what would be cool? Oh, a new treasure's available somewhere. Oh, that's how that works. That's cool. But we need if you could, like, get a better deal if you scrutinize them first, like if they work together. That'd be pretty neat. I'm doing well. I'm really enjoying this game so far. You got stuck in the first demo? What was tricky about it? I haven't played it. Oh, that must be those shiny blue things in the bushes, or hidden items you got from scrutinizing someone. That's cool. That's pretty neat. Headmaster's totally going to be the final boss. We all know it.
brought Professor Albright, as asked, sir.
Good. Enter.
Oh, yikes, Kodiak.
Thank you, Lucia.
Yeah, time to get banished from the university. Already that, oh my god.
Yes, Headmaster. What can I do for you? Something tells me he's not about to offer a commendation.
Professor
He has
Albright,
evil red
a most
eyes.
troubling report has reached my ears.
A report, sir?
An anonymous source claims that you have abused your prestigious position to enter into an illicit relationship with Her Highness the Princess.
Yeah, that's what Teresa is doing. See, I thought that's what they were actually implying, but they're using it as, like, blackmail material.
And you believe this report, sir?
If it is untrue, then say so.
Yeah. Local signals near you and location not found.
Unsubstantiated balderdash of the highest order.
I would like to take your words at face value, Professor, but I fear the situation is not so simple. A rumor regarding the royal family, even an unsubstantiated one,
Not low order balderdash.
is sure to spread quickly.
Common market
If we do not
balderdash.
take swift action, Princess Mary's good name could be forever sullied. That is something that simply cannot be allowed to happen. Surely understand.
The super evil headmaster music.
Me, sir.
I said
It is
good
not
day.
an easy decision to make. Dismissing you outright would be tantamount to an admission of guilt.
If I may be so bold, Headmaster, what about a sabbatical?
This is actually a pretty realistic look at how academia handles this
Professor Albright
shit.
is put on extended leave, while official accounts state that he's doing field work in a distant land.
What say
It seems that
Cyrus?
Cyrus is being unfairly
The
accused in this
Academy
case, but
and your own remain intact.
My reputation?
Do we have a problem, Professor?
and now he's sitting on the laptop keyboard. Show you the cat cam again.
Not at all, Headmaster. On the contrary, this might prove the perfect opportunity.
And Marty is here too.
Opportunity? For what?
Adventure.
As a matter of fact, there is a matter which has piqued my interest of late.
This is an opportunity. I'm glad to go out on an adventure. So being accused of sexual harassment. It's totally worth it. Oh, sorry, my Joy-Con died. Come on, there you go.
I was just wondering when I might find the time to do a bit of research in the field. I think I will set forth on a journey. In search of an ancient tome that disappeared 15 years ago.
Missing library book hype.
Besides, if I am not permitted to share what I have learned with my peers and the public, there is little point in continuing my research here.
He has a point.
Is that so? Do tell, Professor. What is it that you intend to investigate?
As regards a certain tome. Now, if you will forgive me, I must begin packing for my journey. Good day to you, Headmaster.
You go talk to my merchant buddy. Hey, I just got booted.
An enigma as ever, that one.
Are all of the starting stories roughly equal in length? It seems like there's about enough time to do 2 of them in this demo.
Professor!
Oh, Therese, what is it?
I heard that you were leaving the academy.
Your fault.
Then you heard true.
Professor, I'm so sorry.
Really? Just by skipping all the cutscenes and stuff? That's impressive.
I see. So you were the source of the rumor.
I see.
You knew?
Well, now I know.
Not until just this moment, when you apologized. And yet, I cannot fathom your motive. Why would you tell such a terrible lie?
Oh wait, no. Why would you tell a lie that was so...
You're always
of such
Her
ill
Highness,
intent?
answering her every question. I just wanted you to pay more attention.
He's not insulting her.
And that's why you went to the headmaster.
She's jelly, basically.
Yes, but I just wanted to get you in a little trouble. I didn't think they would. I am so sorry, Professor. Can you ever forgive me?
Yeah, like a teacher.
Worry not, my dear. It just so happens that I was looking for a good excuse to go on a journey.
And accusation of sexual harassment is the best kind.
For some time now, I've wanted to travel the realm and see what can be learned beyond these halls. I dare say the timing couldn't have been better. You see, there's a certain matter I simply can't wait to investigate. So fret not, my girl. If anything, you've done me a favor. Besides, I am not entirely without fault in the matter. Indeed, I have not been as attentive to you as I should. Had I realized your true intention sooner, I would not be in this position.
I know, right, Ikupo?
Professor, whatever do you...
Oh, there's certain arguments about like power dynamic that make a teacher-student relationship problematic for lots of reasons.
You were to your studies, my dear girl.
Especially if you're in like a grad school position where like this is your one advisor and they control your ability to ever be successful in the field and can completely destroy you. That's what happened to... I'll ask Andrew to rant about it at some point, tell you about a couple of examples of people in astrophysics.
And yet, Her Highness is always eager to ask questions, and I was all too eager to answer them. In doing so, I may have given the impression that I favored her above you and the others. This was not my intention, but I am at fault all the same.
I like his explaining his true motivations, cape fluttering in the wind animation. It's great.
If only I had seen you for the ardent and devoted young scholar that you are.
Professor,
I don't think he gets it.
perhaps you're not quite as sharp as I thought you were.
Yes?
Never mind.
The square head nod.
In that case, I should be off. Pray do not shirk your studies, my girl.
Yes, Professor. Will I ever see you again?
Does anyone know, do you have to clear the demo to carry your save over? Like, get to the 3-hour time limit? I guess I could always, if once we play the actual game, I can boot the demo and then switch it over.
Both still live.
I think he does get it, but he's giving Aaron out. Yeah. It's a good way to do it. It looks bad for her. After the Great Pestilence in the Riverlands, this apothecary decided to dedicate himself to disease prevention and swift treatment. He now works together with the Royal Academy and Atlasdam to create both medicine and new forms of treatments. The residents of this town will be more receptive to your guidance. That's cool. So all of the little custom abilities for each of the 8 characters do work in concert with one another. I like it. Out in front of the reckless boy by her side, being the older by 2 years, she was entrusted with watching over him. It can be true. It's still in a teacher-student relationship. And with curiosity, this young boy will go to whatever lengths necessary to sate an interest, even if it puts him in danger. Smarter bartering. Okay, this is the answer to my question, I think. You have a better chance of getting a discount when you purchase items. Okay. Which is how we would go about buying this thing and actually making a profit off it, I guess. It looks like the cost of these goes down as we play through the game and she gets higher levels, so we want to wait to buy it until much later in the game. Smartering. Right. Thoughtful rancher delivers the fresh milk from his cows to his parents every morning. I love mechanical stuff like this. Mechanics for mechanics' sake, right? Then you can do some cool flavor stuff with it. New weapons for sale. Cool. Scope that out. Buy... yeah, look at that. Arcane Glaive. 2 Glaive. Glaive Guisarm. It's a blue light in the pink flower pot. Kitties, be nice to each other. House window in the middle of town. Okay, thank you. Oh, we get to rest for free now. Nice. Even better. Because we found out about the guy who sells milk. Seems like a pretty good deal. Thought I saw it a second ago. So, like, normal shiny, or like there's an actual item to get here shiny? Yeah, there's some random, like, glitter effects that aren't quite the same. Thanks for the heads up, though. I've been trying my best to notice those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, Ben, I'm gonna have to pick you up off of the keyboard here. Just sitting on the laptop. Some people's Bens. Age 42. No item or individual that passes through the palace gates escapes this guard's notice. Dedication is not rooted in any sort of loyalty, born with the desire to perpetuate and protect his own unscrupulous business of selling trinkets. Which probably suggests that he has trinkets for sale in here. Very cool. Now, okay, it looks like the item that they have, just trying to see the matrix of this game, appears to always spawn on the same map in which you scrutinize them, but I'm not 100% sure yet if that's the case. Keep monitoring it. What do you got? Stimulating earring. Pretty good deal for that. Hidden item. Cool. Better than having to mash the confirm button on every art object in the game world, right? I still haven't found a game that's much worse about that than Blue Dragon. Like, it's cool to hide stuff in your art objects, but oh man, is it stressful in that game. Hidden item. I wish I could do a thing to compare this to my current gear. Occasionally blinds target. What's this kid doing with all this weaponry? So I gotta go on a buying spree once I have a ton of money. A new game from the people who made Life is Strange lets you mute licensed music. Yeah. Ridiculed by the other guard. This boy. It's following Kratos around everywhere. Most intriguing. Small cup. Is it an adventure game like Life is Strange? I thought they were making a Life is Strange 2 and like a prequel game, right? Or is the prequel one already out? I really like Life is Strange. Prequel's already out, somewhat. Oh, they were doing an episodic release, like, the original game? Gotcha. Alright, we can get out of this town now. I really like the open world map in this. I'm curious to see how well it manages to work. So far, this game's working really well for me. The other games I've played like this, where you get to pick from one of multiple starting points and recruit a whole party. So Seiken Densetsu 3 and Saga Frontier did not work so well for me.
Now, I must find out all I can about it from the far reaches of hell. My erstwhile colleague, Death, is more about keen studies than anyone I know. Last I heard, she sojourned in Quarry Crest. I should begin my journey there.
Quarry Crest is a pretty good town name. This game's really well localized. Yeah, right? They've been really solid so far. Atlasdam is really cool too. What was the town we started in? And so Cyrus left the academy behind in search of the lost tome. From the far reaches of hell, what dark secrets might its pages hold? There's also a creepy guy in a black hood. So maybe it's not going to be all slice of life, low stakes JRPG. One day, someone should just take JRPG mechanics and copy paste them onto like a modern real world story. You go to the store to buy milk and you have to use ice magic in the process. Hey Lovely, how you doing?
Tired.
Let's do this.
Tired, you said?
Yeah.
Another week against staff. This is my wife, Andrea. You got any room to scoot over a teensy bit? Ants are probably weak against fire.
Unless they're fire ants.
Here comes science.
Oh, flames!
They're not weak against fire. Hold on. Ants surely are. Ouch. Oh, what's that? Blind, I guess?
Nice try.
Yep. This is a really pretty game that's coming out soon for the Switch.
This game?
Yeah, it's called Octopath Traveler. And it uses a cool combination of 2D sprites and kind of sort of 3D environments. It's very pretty. Lots of modern lighting. Pokemon rules suggest there should be. Also weak against Spear. Alright.
Here I go.
Hi Ben. So hungry. They must be weak against some element I don't yet have access to.
Here I go.
This is from the same people that made Bravely Default. You played a very little bit of, right? Okay, it's still worth doing the break and then using elemental magic, it looks like.
You should have studied harder.
That guy's a scholar that just got kicked out of the university, and she's a merchant.
Alright.
So it's
And
like kind
they're
of
both fighting giant ants.
at the moment, yeah. The game has you pick between one of 8 characters. There's a scholar, an apothecary, a merchant, a warrior, a thief. Who else? I forgot the other ones. And then the one you pick, you then explore the game world and try to recruit the other ones and learn their backstory. Dancer, 6.
Open for business.
It's a frogman. Weak against 2 kinds of magic, that's exciting.
Course of action.
Probably could have saved that another turn, that's okay. Ben is so happy right now. It's got an elemental weakness system. I need to see if I can give Cyrus new abilities here. Scholar, Lightning Bolt. Analyze, reveal the HP and 1 weakness of a foe. Deal fire damage to all foes twice. Well, I think I want another element, so I'm going to take Lightning Bolt first. And I'm not too far, I might take Analyze after that, we'll see. Very cool. That's pretty neat. Danger level 4, and then there's a pretty open world map. So we started down here since I picked a character that was here, and we gotta try to explore and find the other.
Is this just
8
like
characters.
a preview?
Yeah, the game's not all the way out yet, so the demo stops working at how did you know?
You said it's coming out.
Paying attention, good job. Yes, that's correct. Look, there's a cat burglar.
Nice.
Oh, meow, 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 meow. Try using wind on the pig. Pigs are typically wind weak.
Why?
It wasn't, I was just guessing. The ants are weak against lightning. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all, let alone beat them. That means that we're not going to run out. If you'd like to see a list of all the games that we've played so far on the stream, you can go to games.marstead.com. And if you'd like to see how you can vote for the next awesome game on the schedule, click on the voting spreadsheet on that tab. Or there's a voting tab on that spreadsheet. You can see a list of those games. If you're just hanging out, lurking, that's totally cool. Welcome, it's good to have you. Hey, Diffident, how you doing? I only did cast for metal slimes. I think it was just really strong against the wind element that I opened with. Maybe it's weak against ice? I guess not. I don't know. Just weak against spear, which breaks them, and then they take extra damage while broken and interrupts their abilities. So I'm going to cast a big, powerful lightning bolt. Oh, did it flee? I thought I killed it. I missed it. Thanks, sir. It must be metal slimes or something similar. Yeah, this is like a demo. It stops letting you play at 3 hours. Danger level 15. Holy shit, I don't think we want to do that. We get our asses kicked. It's a neat way. If you want to grind, you can go in that direction, but maybe do otherwise. We're about at time for the stream, guys, so I'm going to head back to the save point, and then my plan, I am intrigued enough by Octopath Traveler that I'd like to play it on launch. I'm going to give it at least a couple weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, for people to get ahead of me on the game. If you're a viewer and you wanted to pick this game up, you got about 2 to 4 weeks to beat it, so you can watch without being spoiled for stuff. Well, the other guy has 2 shield points, so we didn't get break there.
Let's do this.
Yeah. If you see an enemy takes 1 hit damage and runs, make sure JRPG sends Tingle. I'm super digging it so far, Kami. I'm out of MP with him, shit. I don't have a free way to regenerate his MP like everybody else. Guess that thing was almost dead. Baller. That's super good so far. I'm kind of hoping that it's like a low stakes game, because so far, like, it's been about go beat up some pirates that stole your town's wine, or go return a library book. And I hope it stays that way and it doesn't become Go Kill God. It would be really cool if it's a whole JRPG that's just like low stakes stuff. Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome. The art style is gorgeous. And that's time, everybody. Thanks again for hanging out. I'll give you a heads up on what's coming up this week and next week.